Hey everyone, and welcome to another video of Eat Well with Allergies. So, as I mentioned before in the last voting, the choice between blueberry cobbler or blueberry cake. Here's drum roll. Blueberry cobbler won with 18 votes. Surprisingly, not many of you would blueberry cake. And if any of you are wondering what a cobbler is, it's basically a layer of a layer of fruit, and the topping is usually an equal mixture of flour and sugar with some baking powder, salt, and milk, and sometimes some butter. It's a little different between each recipe. So, as you can see, I have some butter in a 9x13 pan. This is 6 tablespoons of butter, and I have the oven set for 350, so I'm gonna put that in there to melt the butter, and that is gonna help the fruit not stick on the bottom, and it'll make the berries nice and buttery. So I'm gonna stick the pan in here until I'm ready to layer everything, and that will boil eventually because it's at 350 degrees. So today, you can see I don't have all the ingredients because there's not actually that much. So today we have, the blueberries are very simple. All it needs is blueberries, fresh or frozen. You can use both, either. But I'm going to be using frozen. I just try to get all the juice I could off of them, and some sugar and a little bit of lemon zest. Now, if any of you don't know what zest is, it is basically it's not really the rind of a citrus fruit, like a lemon or orange or that kind of thing, but the zest is, and you grind off the little skin until you get to the white part. So that if any of you are wondering what that is, that's what zest is, not anything else. Sorry, I'm a little tired still. Okay, so for the blueberry mixture, you're going to want 4 cups of blueberries, fresh or frozen, it doesn't really matter. But if you do have fresh, just be gentle when you stir them around because they might burst a little. Half a cup of sugar and 1 teaspoon of lemon zest. And all you have to do is basically mix the sugar and lemon zest in, and it creates it. If you ever eat strawberries and once you add sugar to them and wait a couple hours, it secretes a lot of juiciness. That's like sugary goodness. So that's what that little bit of juice is there. So the batter on top is 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 3/4 cups of milk. Now, as you can see, this is not milk, unless I dyed it very, very purple. Now, I'm going to experiment today because I want a really good blueberry flavor. So I drained some juice off from here, and it's basically a liquid. Any liquid, I guess, and I'm going to experiment with that today. So instead of milk, I'm going to use blueberry juice. We'll see if that works. But originally, you're supposed to use 3/4 cups of milk. So let's get started on the batter. It's very, very simple. All you have to do is add these two together. So I started my video for my other camera. Hold on. Let me move my mother's espresso machine out of the way, if I can. Sorry about that. There we go. Oh boy. Hold on a sec. I didn't do that very well. Okay, there we go. So, I have that all in there. Now I'm going to add slowly the blueberry juice. I'm going to get a spatula to get all the flour on the sides And it's gonna be a very thin mixture, I think. I haven't made cobbler in a while, so it is a little thick, so we'll see how it goes. Mix it again. Okay, so that is the mixture. Let me turn that off. I'll show you what it looks like. So as you can see, it's very, very purple. So I'm gonna get the mixture off the paddle. That's weird. Off the paddle, and I'm just gonna stir it a little more with this to make sure that all the ingredients were in there. Because usually with my mixing bowl, the one area at the bottom, the paddle doesn't get to. So, as you can see, it's very, very purple. And cobblers aren't that complicated. So if you've never tried them, it's very, very easy. You just mix a little batter together and some fruit, actually. So, and usually you can use canned fruit as long as you can drain off the juice, because that goes into the... Okay, that's good. Goes into the batter, so it doesn't cook as well. So I'm being very careful here because I don't want boiled butter on my skin. So baking is always a little dangerous. So I wanted to keep that in there as long as I could. Now I'm gonna pour the blueberries in here. And there's a little juice. So I'm just gonna get all the blueberries I can out of the bowl. Actually, let me see if I can position it so where you can see what I'm doing. Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. Let's see, does that work without tipping over? So just spread the blueberries a little around into the butter, and then you're gonna pour the batter on top. So get all the batter you can off the sides of the bowl, and then you're just gonna pour it on the middle, and then you're gonna spread it out. Hopefully this works with the blueberry juice. And you are gonna have to spread this out to cover all the blueberries. So that's what I'm doing right now. It's a wonderful purple color. It's just so good. So if you can't cover all the blueberries, that's fine. Just try and get as many as you can with the batter. And then you're gonna put it in the oven. So I'm just slowly trying to get some of the batter off the blueberries into the corners, and the butter seeping over them. But the thing is that the butter will seep into the blueberries and into the batter, and that'll make it even more good. So it's like if you added butter to the batter. Okay, so as you can see, that thing is entire colored. You have some blueberries peeking through, but it's still good. So let me turn that off, and then let me see how long I have to bake this for. Okay, so I have to bake this for about 37 minutes, basically until the batter is cooked, because it doesn't really matter if the batter isn't cooked. Because the blueberries don't have anything to cook. So it says 35 to 40 minutes. I basically try and find the middle of that every time I bake. So in this instance, that is 37 minutes. So I'll see you in 37 minutes and see if the cobbler is done. See you then. Okay, so I have baked the cobbler. It's just in the oven warming still. And I actually had to bake it a little longer until the batter was done. So I had to actually bake it 15 minutes more than 37, so I guess that would be 52 minutes, so almost an hour. And that isn't too bad when most of the dessert is liquid. So that is a cobbler. Imagine the top white. That's what it would originally be. But I basically cooked it 10 minutes, then 5 minutes, and saw if it was done. I used, let's see, it would be that. So from here to here is when it was done. You can see that there's still a little batter in it. So I just baked it until it was done. You can't really tell if it's done just by touch because the fruit moves around. So cobblers are actually very simple. You can use canned fruits, you can use regular fruits. It's very simple, actually. I've made peach cobbler, apricot cobbler, blueberry cobbler. It's a lot of cobblers because we have a lot of canned fruit that no one ate originally. So I made a cobbler out of it. So that's what it usually is, mostly. And it did decrease in size a little bit, so it was all the way up here. Now it's down here. But that's mostly it. Next week, I will be making a new creation. I will be making rainbow cookies. So I'm going to be using a dough and dyeing the dough and creating a rainbow out of it and rolling it in sprinkles. So that one will be interesting. So that's what next week's is. And the week after that, I'll be making blueberry cake. So this week I made blueberry cobbler, and then 2 weeks I'll be making the other dessert that you voted for. So that's mostly it. Please like, subscribe, comment. If you want any of the recipes I have, you can find, at least the ones I've videoed, you can find them on my Facebook. Just go to facebook.com and search Eat Well with Allergies, and you will find any of the recipes you want. I can't really do that in YouTube because it's too many words to account for. There's a certain amount of limits. So that's basically it. I'll see you next week where I'll be making rainbow cookies with rolled in sprinkles. Bye.